Used over 20 years of data to create a shoe that provides total foot and arch support for all-day comfort. ArchFit distributes support across the arch no matter what foot type you have. You don't need an arch problem to love how they feel.
See all the styles of machine-washable ArchFit shoes now at Skechers.com.
Save on thousands of items during Menards' last 11% rebate sale of 2020. From framing and roofing nailers to finish and brad nailers, Menards has a large selection of Metabo HPT air nailers to choose from. Right now, all Metabo HPT air nailers are 11% off. It's Menards' last 11% rebate sale of 2020. Savings are good until November 25th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Wouldn't it be great if everything came with more? Like if your new computer came with unlimited tech support. When you choose a Medicare plan from United Healthcare, you get more. Like plans that have dental and vision coverage, plus hearing coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-800-364-1360 to get Medicare with more. Remember, Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th.
Benefits and availability may vary by plan and location. More plans based on a year-over-year comparison with United Healthcare plans.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys in Mile West. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Gifts from eBay say a lot, but don't cost a lot. Get your All-Star Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And your Rockstar Dad, a Bose soundbar that speaks volumes.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go! There's something left out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call if you got any questions, comments, or concerns are real easy to remember. 937-457-9464. I'm going to repeat that in case you're driving or you're in line at Lee's Famous Recipe getting some chicken, getting you something to eat. 937-457-9464. You can hit me on Twitter also at KAB41 is my Twitter handle. Easy to find. Well, we got to talk about a lot today. Well, how's your Monday going? It's going to be a short Monday, isn't it? I mean, a short work week. Why? Because Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Be here in a few days, come Thursday. So we got to talk about what happened this weekend, what's going to happen this coming weekend, as well as Thanksgiving holiday. But, guys, we have a lot to be thankful for. I know it's 2020 and it's a little different, but, you got to take time out to be thankful. Every year, Thanksgiving time, we take a moment to reflect and on your family and your friends and all the things you have thankful for. But this seems in 2020 has got to be a little extra special. I mean, a lot of people, as in always, don't make it to Thanksgiving for various reasons why. But this year has been one of the major reasons because coronavirus. Please, can you take care of yourself? I know family Thanksgiving is large gatherings. I've been guilty of large gatherings as well. Thanksgivings, that's part of Thanksgiving. But this year we got to make a sacrifice. Zoom, whatever you have to do, but make a sacrifice for your family so you'll have very many more holidays to spend together. Just do what you have to do. Take care of yourself. I have some family members right now here in the Dayton area that are affected by coronavirus. So we won't be getting together like normal, but I'm sure you have some as well. But let's keep them all in prayer. They have a speedy recovery and they stay safe. So let's take care of one another. So we're going to really be thankful for Thanksgiving this week. And so you guys at work, you got some time off coming on at the end of the week, or if you're working from home, that's a good thing also. So you're staying safe. Wow. But let's talk about some of the things we saw over the weekend. We saw our Ohio State Buckeyes, where we have 3 Ohio teams playing, the Buckeyes, the Bengals, and the Browns. 2 for 3. Not all bad. We'll accept that. But the Buckeyes, big win over Indiana, 42-35. You said, what did you say, Keith? A big win over Indiana? You're supposed to beat Indiana. In normal years, yes. But remember last week I said, Indiana has a really good football team, usually like every 30 years. Well, it's been about 30-something years since they had one, since 1987. They have a really good football team. And if you saw the game, you saw a really good football team out of Indiana. And Ohio State played well. They didn't play great. They played well. I mean, look at the opening drive. 2 plays, Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields, where it seems like to be the only ones on the field. 65-yard pass the first play, then 10-yard pass, boom, touchdown. 75-yard drive, 2 plays, touchdown. We like, wow, this is what we signed up for. 7-0, let's go. And then Indiana, it's like, wait a minute. Justin Fields, we get the ball back right away. Justin Fields throws an interception. I'm like, woo, we hardly ever see that. The last interception we saw from Justin Fields was in the bowl game, last January. Wow, that's been a long time. Okay, no problem. It's only the first quarter. We threw a pick. Instead of us being up 14-0, well, it's still 7-0. We get the ball back. Justin Fields throws another interception. Like, whoa, that's twice. What's going on? And then the first quarter's over with. I made some notes. I'm like, man, our offense is not playing well after the first drive. Then the second quarter, Indiana scores. Michael Penix's name, might as well get used to hearing. He's having a great year. He's having a great year for Indiana's quarterback. He throws a touchdown. Now, actually, it's 7-7. And I'm like, I'm sitting back in my chair waiting to relax. I'm like, okay. Boom, we go up 14-7. Master Teague has a nice 41-yard touchdown run. Master Teague again. It's 21-7. Barrett Browning causes a fumble. We get the ball back. Justin Fields, touchdown. It's 28-7. It's halftime. I'm feeling, okay. We didn't play a good first quarter, but okay, we're up 28-7 at the half. We get the ball. Let the third quarter begin. We get the ball in the third quarter opening drive. It ends with another Buckeye touchdown, 9-yard touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson from Justin Fields. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I've been up since Saturday morning. Put me some ribs on the grill about 9:30. I'm like, okay, I may have me some ribs this afternoon. Enjoy my baby back ribs that I made on my Traeger. Now sit there and sit back. I love when the Buckeyes up 3 scores or more. I can just have a sense of relaxation. I can really enjoy it, get in more of my analysis. And then it seems a couple plays later, Indiana scores. Hey, man, it's 35-14. Come on, man. 63-yard touchdown pass. Okay, we get the ball back. No problem. We get the ball back. Justin Fields throws another interception. Wait a minute. This is 3 times. Wait a minute, Justin. You had through 3 interceptions all of last year, and you've thrown 3 through 3 quarters. Indiana gets the ball. Another 33-yard touchdown pass to Fogel again. Touchdown. Wait a minute. It's 35-21. My ribs are not tasting so good right now. Let me relax for a minute. It's okay. Indiana gets the ball back. They throw another play. Oh, Sean Wade, he welcomed to 2020. Sean Wade, defensive back, intercepts the ball. 36-yard touchdown to run. 42-21. Okay. Going into the fourth quarter, I feel good. We up 21 points. Now my ribs are tasting a little bit better. And next thing you know, Indiana gets the ball. They get a nice drive going. It ends with a 16-yard pass or 4th down and 10. Now it's 42-28. Okay. The offense pitter-patters around. Next thing you know, Indiana gets the ball back because we had to punt. And Michael Penix, he throws another touchdown pass to Freifogel. 42-35. We got a one-score game in the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh, my goodness. Indiana gets the ball back, and defense gets off the field finally. Offense gets the ball. They drive. Clock's almost over, but no, we got to punt. We punt to Indiana with a little less than a minute to go in the game, about 40 seconds. And that's how the game ends. They don't have it in. They go to throwing all the ball all around, hook and lateral plays, game over. I couldn't even sit down. Now my ribs are getting cold. They're cold now. Now I had to go warm them up. But the Buckeyes won. And it's a lot of storylines that came out. And I said Justin Fields threw 3 interceptions. But, he was 18-30 for 300 yards. He threw for 300 yards. Did Justin Fields have a great game? No, he did not. Did he have a bad game? Far from a bad game. He's had a good game. He's raised the bar so high. When in 3 interceptions in any game is never acceptable for a quarterback. I don't care if you threw for 12 touchdowns. We don't want to see 3 interceptions. So that was bad. But Justin Fields is our leader. He played a good game, not a great game. He played a good game. Good enough to win. So he threw 300-yard passes, and we're sitting there talking about, being nitpicky. No, he had a good game. What else happened good? Chris Olave, 8 catches for 101 yards. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow. We've had, how many games in a row now? We've had 2 receivers with over 100 yards. I think it's like 3 in a row now. Something like that. We want to play 4 games. They are arguably the best wide receiver combo in the country. Alabama has a couple of receivers, some other schools, but they're not doing it like this. Not doing it like this. Jamison Williams had a nice catch, and we're going to get him involved. He needs to get more involved in the offense. First time all season, our tight ends didn't catch a pass. But I was pleased. Running game-wise, Master Teague ran with authority. 26 carries for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yes, he left a few yards on the field, but that happens sometime. But 169 yards, I'm not going to be nitpicky on Master Teague either. He ran for 169 yards. Any college in the country would take a running back who has 169 yards. Trey Sermon, came off the bench, had 9 carries for 60 yards. Okay. Guys, you want to realize, we're talking, I'm going to get to our defense in a moment, but our offense had 300 yards passing and 300 yards rushing, over 300 yards rushing. That's 600 yards of offense. That's pretty special. Pretty good. But now to the other side. Even though, let me go back to offense. Even with 600 yards, you can't turn the ball over 3 times. Whether it was a fumble, interception, whatever, we cannot turn the ball over 3 times. Hopefully we don't have any more, maybe 3 turnovers the rest of the season, if that. I'm not asking for perfection. I would love it. But I don't want to see us do that anymore. Enough of that. Now on defense, let's talk about the good things of defense. Guess what? Guess how many yards rushing that Indiana had? -1. -1. Oh, that's a good thing that happened on defense. We stopped the running game. And you know what? We tackled pretty darn good. When we was able to get hands on people, we tackled pretty good. But now for the elephant in the room, our pass coverage was terrible. I saw somebody say, man, they threw for over 400 yards. Yeah, but it was really closer to 500. He threw for 491 yards. And the only reason why he didn't throw for 500 is because they ran out of time. Otherwise, he would have threw for well over 500 yards. Our defense, a lot of problems there. As great as we were against the run, we were equally as bad against the pass. And I've been seeing it all season long. And it came to a total head in our passing game, in our pass defense on Saturday. Were the DBs a problem? Yes, they were. Was the defensive coordinator a problem? Yes, he was. He was probably a bigger problem than the defensive backs. And I'm talking about, Kerry Combs. How excited that he came back here to be the defensive coordinator. And he's one of the best defensive back coaches, in the country. No question about it. But we get on players, And, when we criticize players for their lack of productions when they have bad days, the same and really twofold ought to be for coaches. Players aren't paid. So I have a real problem really, getting on the player, but so hard, especially a college player. Professional player is different, but a college player is not paid. College coaches are paid. And so the standard is higher. You have got to put players in their position to succeed. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Kerry Combs, but he was atrocious. He had a horrible game on Saturday. No halftime adjustments. It wasn't like they just got hot in the second half. No halftime adjustments. It was moving the ball in the first half. They moved it even better in the second half. You have got to mix up your defenses. We used to get on Schiano all the time about being sold to one particular defense. And Ohio State, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You have got to mix up your coverages. You don't have all the studs. Even when you have studs like we did last year, and those studs didn't always become in studs. They had to develop into stud players. It's well documented how many people we lost on defense last year. I'm not even going to get into that too hard because guess what? Those players are not walking back in the building. We have lost great players in the past and will continue to lose great players. The question is, it's time for the next player to step up and to be counted on. And that's what it's all about. And we've seen that happen in the past. I mean, we didn't know who Jeffrey Okudah was. We heard about him. We was hoping he was going to be as good as some of the stuff we heard. And then next thing you know, because we had Denzel Ward there, Marshawn Lattimore, Conley. We've had Corn, and then next day they graduate, here comes the next guy up. And it's the next guy up. Damon Arnett. First round draft pick. Now it's time for the next guy. So our new DBs, Sean Wade, you're not new, but Sean Wade, you're supposed to be one of those next guys. You're supposed to be a leader. And leaders make plays. Leaders make plays. Sean Wade's got to make more plays, but Kerry Combs has got to put them in position to make plays. You've got to disguise your coverages, and you can't be stuck in man coverage. And you don't play man coverage on 4th and 10 by the goal line. Everybody knows that. Don't do that to your players. Don't do that. That's just bad. And Chase Young, guess what? I saw him on television yesterday wearing a Washington football team uniform. You know what else that means? He's not walking back in the building. I saw Bosa on playing with Los Angeles Chargers. He's not walking back in the building either. So who is our next defensive end that's going to step up and get a pass rush? Do we have a defensive end that they have to double team when the Buckeyes break the huddle on defense? You got to where's Chase Young? Where's Bosa? We don't have that guy just yet. We're still in the developmental process. So coverage works pass rush. When you get pass rushers that's going to get and be disruptive and get into the quarterback's face, because our defensive tackles are playing well. We have got to be more edge rushers to get to the quarterback. And then your coverage gets to be improved when you don't have to cover guys long as far as down the field because that ball has to come out. So they work hand in hand. That's like having a great running back with no offensive line. I don't know how good our running backs is because, they don't never break loose because they're not getting any holes. But now when you have running backs and you got an offensive line, that kind of work together. It's hard to be all Big Ten running back without an all Big Ten offensive lineman. So our offensive line is fine. We got a couple things we can correct, but offensive line is fine. Our defensive line has to catch up to our offensive line and get pressure on the quarterback. You stop the run well, but I need pressure on the quarterback, and then the secondary will be better. But I'm glad I'm enough Indiana talk for now. I'm going to let that go. But Indiana, they're going in the right direction. They're right. Ohio State cannot get all the great players in Ohio. And so it's going to be, if I'm a high school player and Ohio State is not the right fit for me for various reasons, where they're not recruiting me or I'm not recruiting them as those don't fit my position. If I'm in the greater Ohio area, I'm looking at two colleges that stand out for me is Indiana, University of Cincinnati. I would be looking because those are great places to go play football. They're a well-coached team. Tom Allen from Indiana as long as they don't have any letdowns after this Buckeye loss, I don't see Indiana losing another football game. They look better to me every time I've seen them this year than Wisconsin has, and that's the biggest game they have left on their schedule as far as and they have a rivalry game against Purdue, the Battle of Indiana, at the last game of the season, for them. But I don't see Indiana losing anymore. And the Buckeyes, we have Illinois this week. Illinois is, guess what? They're on a 2-game winning streak. Illinois is on a 2-game winning streak. And not the Illinois from my day, but this Illinois team, they're still looking. They have a great coach in Lovie Smith. And Buckeyes, don't go in there and lay no egg. Go in there and give Illinois what they're expecting, a whipping. And then you come home, play Michigan State, then you go to Michigan State. You're on the road for 2 weeks. Got to go to Michigan State. Then you come home for the team up north. That's the schedule. And then, which leads me to the college football playoffs. College football playoffs are right around the corner. And I'm going to give you my top 10 after the break. I wonder who I have at number 1. Who do I have at number 10? Well, I will get into all that after the break. And, of course, we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrows. And we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. I can't believe they beat my Eagles yesterday. But they did. Hey, Cleveland Browns are 7-3. We'll talk about that more and more after the break. But my college football top 10 after the break. Hey, go get some Jim Lee's famous recipe chicken while you're on your break also. See you on the other side.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Want to hear how I almost got off the naughty list this year? I helped Santa save gazillions by having him download Capital One Shopping to his computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. You can download it too and save a bundle. You don't even need a Capital One card, and it's free. So why didn't I get off the naughty list? Turns out Santa's a stickler for naughty words. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
Try Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill for a fast-acting relief of honey lemon. Not to mention a soothing chill. So remember, Vicks VapoCool Drops are honey lemon and honey lemon. Honey lemon. Yeah, honey lemon chill. Get fast-acting relief with Vicks VapoCool Drops in Honey Lemon Chill. Use as directed.
Shop Black Friday week deals Sunday through Friday at Kohl's. Plus, get $15 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent. And take an extra 15% off. Get the Big One throws, $8.49. Toastmaster small appliances are just $2.14 after rebate. And Fitbit Versa 2 is $129.99. Plus, take 30% off Lego, 70% off fine jewelry, and save on boots for her, $16.99. Plus, get fast and free store pickup. Shop Black Friday week deals at Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Select styles. Offers valid November 22nd through the 27th. 15% off with promo code ENJOY15. Lego and Fitbit offers and coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Just close your eyes.
Boo, you already got me an iPhone SE from Cricket.
Okay. Open.
A caribou.
It's a reindeer, dear.
In North America, it's called a caribou, boo.
No way.
Well, I love my new iPhone SE and my new caribou. What's her name?
It's Carrie Boo.
Get the iPhone SE for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Ends 1/7/21. Excludes upgrades and AT&T ports. Limit 2 phones per customer. Activation fee $25 per line and additional one-time fees. $4 customer assistance fee may apply. Subject to change.
Hi, Joey Beckett here at Buckeye Ford in Sydney, home of the Works package and the Double Take Tire specials. Call today for your appointment, 937-419-8473 or 1-800-700-0050. Buckeye Ford in Sydney, exit 92 off of I-75. We'll see you soon.
Hi, everyone. It's Jeff Heil with Ohio Irrigation and Buckeye Lawn and Landscaping. Are you tired of the leaves in your yard? It's been a beautiful fall, but as we know, things are sure to change as we head into the holiday season. It's a great time to give your yard that tune-up it needs before heading into winter. Right now is the time for pruning and deadheading your shrubs and perennials, as well as cleaning all the leaves out of your plant beds. Get those leaves out? Contact Ohio Irrigation and Buckeye Lawn and Landscaping. Go to buckeyenohio.com. That's buckeyenohio.com.
Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game-used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Bengals, the Browns, the Big Red Machine, UC, XU, UK, NKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Today's job market is full of demand for skilled trade workers. Electricians, welders, mechanics, these and other trades are the backbone of every community. They're also a huge part in making sure the Army National Guard is always fulfilling its mission of service to our country and communities. Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. The skilled trades these soldiers perform are the same ones needed in today's civilian workforce. Army National Guard soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. With options from plumber to helicopter mechanic and everything in between, soldiers are able to select the trades that best fit their lives. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession and serve your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Gifts from eBay say a lot, but don't cost a lot. Get your All-Star Air Jordans at not-so-sky-high prices. And your Rockstar Dad, a Bose soundbar that speaks volumes.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know. Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are out. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. For facts, though. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byars Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. Get us to the Keith Byars radio show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. The phone number is 457-9464. You can hit me on Twitter also at KAB41 with your question and comments and concerns. Right before the break, I talked about my top 10 college football list, and I'm going to give you that. But like I said, I'm live here from the studio. But next week, I'm going to be live on location. And come have lunch with me. It's, you've had it'll be a post-Thanksgiving show. And why not come out and have lunch with me next Monday afternoon? I'm going to be in Springfield. I'm going to be in Springfield location, 410 West Columbia Street from 12 to 1. So I'll be at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken next Monday. Live, and we'll have nice giveaways, and we'll have a cornhole board to give away. I'll even autograph it if you want me to, and a whole bunch of other goodies. So that's going to be in the Thanksgiving spirit still next Monday. Next Monday at Springfield, Lee's Famous Recipe in Springfield, 410 West Columbia Street. So Springfield, I would be there. If you don't live in Springfield, it's okay. It's okay to drive over there and have lunch, and maybe you can walk out of there with the cornhole nice. So cornhole board. I got it right to slow myself down. So I will see you next Monday. That's where I'll be. And today, I'm here in the studio, and on my top 10 college football playoffs, selection committee is going to release their top 10 tomorrow night on ESPN. But I'm going to get it a little ahead. I'm going to give you my preview. It's hard to get in the heads of those guys. Who knows what they're thinking? A couple of years ago when Ohio State didn't even make the playoffs, Justin Kenner and even Mark Slimmer, they still tease me about that. I can't believe they didn't make the playoffs that year. But nevertheless, here's my top 10, Keith Byars' top 10. I'll give it to you every Monday, going forward till we get to Selection Sunday. And like I said, Tuesday night, ESPN is going to release their top 10, and that's going to change every week, hopefully for the better. But here's my top 10 as of right now. I had the number 10 team in the country from the Southeastern Conference. I have Texas A&M. They're 5-1. They're the number 10 team in the country. Number 9, according to Keith Byars, I have the Indiana Hoosiers. They're 4-1, and I don't think they're going to lose another game. They're having their best season since 1987. They're still holding out some kind of hope that they'll get a chance to contend for the Big Ten championship this year. Haven't won a Big Ten since 1967, but Indiana is having a really good football season right now. At number 8, I have Brigham Young University, BYU, for you guys who don't know what BYU stands for. Played a couple bowl games against them when I was in college. They're 9-0. Their season is almost over. They're 9-0. They're the number 8 team in the college football. Number 7, I have the Florida Gators. The 6-1 football team club. One loss. And the one loss they had was to Texas A&M. It was like, Keith, why you have – they both have one loss. Why is Texas A&M behind Florida? Well, even though they've lost, Texas A&M beat Florida, Florida's still playing better football at this point, of the season. Number 6, we're here in the great state of Ohio. That's University of Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 8-0. Nice win this Saturday against Central Florida on the road. But they're 8-0, and they're the number 6 team in the country. Sorry they didn't make the top 5. Just did not make it close, but you still got some football to go. Luke Fickell's doing a tremendous job. Marcus Freeman, defense coordinator, tremendous job. Which leads me to number 5. The 5th team is a 5-0 Northwestern out of the Big Ten Wildcats. They're the number 5 team in the country. Number 4 team in the country is Clemson. The Clemson Tigers, they're 7-1. They had one loss without their starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, but they took Notre Dame to double overtime on the road, but that still left them with a loss, and they're the number 4 team in the country, which leads me to the number 3 team in the country. I just briefly spoke about them. That's Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 8-0. Nice win in double overtime a few weeks ago against Clemson, but you're the number 3 team in the country, which leads me to the number 2 team in the country. Who would that be? Guess what? They're undefeated. And that would be the Ohio State University Buckeyes. According to Keith Byars, they're the number 2 team in the country. They've only played 4 games. They've had 4. They've won 4. They played 4 and won 4. And which leads me to the number one team in the country as of today, according to Keith Byars, that would be the Alabama Crimson Tide. They're 7-0. They had a big win. They had a win, not a big win. Let me correct myself. They won big over Kentucky. So really, they were supposed to be. They throw their helmets on the field. They're up by 24 against Kentucky. But nevertheless, and Alabama, they played 3 more games than my Buckeyes, and they've looked impressive in all of them. Quarterback is playing well. Running back is playing even better. Damian Harris. I give them a lot of credit. Alabama's playing really good football at this point. So they're the number one team in the country. For all you haters that say, hey, Keith, you never say nothing good about the SEC. Well, see, I just did. Alabama, they're playing really good. And my cousin who's from Alabama, he couldn't wait to call me yesterday, and he found out that I had Alabama ahead of Ohio State. I said, enjoy the call, cuz. Just let you know I'm hard, but I am fair. And so he was like, I said, just memorize this call. So the one time that I have Alabama ahead of Ohio State, enjoy it. But nevertheless, I'm going to always be fair and honest with you. Alabama is the number one team in the country at this point. But you still have time. Ohio State has time. Cincinnati, you have time. A whole lot of colleges have time, and I'm sure this list will probably change more and more as the weeks go by. We'll just see how it all shakes out. Since we're in college right now, I have to take a moment to talk about the Clemson Tigers. Clemson hasn't played in a few weeks, and it was terrible what happened to them. You fly all the way to Tallahassee, Florida, to get ready to play a football game, and then 3 hours before kickoff, the game gets canceled. One of the reasons why the game got canceled was Clemson had a player test positive on Friday. And they still got on the plane, flew to Tallahassee, Florida to play Florida State. And then between that positive test on Friday, all the way up until 3 hours before the game, they never got clearance between the two teams, between Florida State and Clemson and ACC officials, that the game can still be played. And what happened was Clemson had to get on an airplane and fly back with no game, and the game got canceled. Not even postponed to a Sunday, just canceled. Terrible thing that happened, just bad. But what was worse was what Dabo Swinney came out, and he's taking a shot at Florida State, saying they didn't want to play us, this, that, and the other. Well, that was just, I don't want to necessarily say it was a classless move by Dabo Swinney to take a shot at another college because they want to keep, their team safe. And then, of course, we knew Clemson was going to win the game. But so you don't have to take a shot at them, because you would have more than likely won the game, barring a major, major upset. But this is not always about football. It's about general health of individuals and teams and people and players and families. If they don't want to take a chance, because you could probably, I'm going to say this, I wouldn't even know that, but you are definitely have, your college and your team has had the most positive cases that we know of, emphasis on that we know of, in the country. And your starting quarterback just missed 2 games because of it. And why is it, you're going to take a shot at them and criticize them for wanting to be safe? Because it's always about the safety of the players and the fans and the coaches and everybody, more so than any W and L on your schedule. So Dabo, I'm not calling you classy, classless, but it wasn't a classy move. So Dabo, you ought to be better than that. Don't do that, Dabo. And I got a lot of respect for you, but I do not have respect for you making comments like that to another college and their players and their administration, because things turn around. You're not always going to be the top dog. A lot of us got memories longer than you. I don't really. I do remember when Clemson was not a major team in that conference. That it used to be Florida State and who else? Right now, it's Clemson and who else? Things change, so enjoy it while you're at the top, because that's a heck of a fall down. But enjoy it, but don't do that, Dabo. Show's getting away from it. I have to talk about the professional football. There's not a lot to talk about because my Eagles are terrible. But the Browns said, that's not our fault. We've been terrible. Y'all whipped up on us. So, nevertheless, hey, Cleveland Browns, nice win. Nice win. You know, you 22-17 win over the Eagles. Baker Mayfield, 204-yard passes, 12 of 22. Nick Chubb, 114 yards carrying. Kareem Hunt had a nice touchdown at the end, and it was rainy. But you're in Cleveland, we ain't going to talk about the weather. So what? You expect rain. You expect wind. Leroy Hoard, who I had on the show a couple weeks ago, he tweeted out, the only thing was missing from that game was the fans. That was a classic Cleveland Sunday afternoon in November. And, you know, and he's 100% right. That's exactly what it was. But again, Cleveland, all you want to do is win. I'm not going to talk about Baker Mayfield's performance because guess what? He didn't throw any interceptions. He didn't have any touchdowns. He missed a touchdown in the end zone with Austin Hooper. But that happens. And he said it shouldn't happen. But see how it happens when you win. When you lose, it's a different, you know, it's a different, man, you got to make that. You got to complete that ball. And you've heard me say it. I'll say it many, many times on this show. Winning covers a multitude of faults. Losing exposes a multitude of faults. So because the Browns won, we're not talking about that missed pass in the end zone. We're not talking about a whole lot of other things. You know, a fumble, you fumble at the 1-inch line, or you don't score at the 1-inch line, but you end up getting the safety. Those things happen. Cleveland Browns, good win. And remember now, what's Cleveland's record? 7-3. 7-3. And so you have to stay in the moment. Yesterday, before the game, they were 6-3, and it was a whole bunch of teams at 6-3 in the AFC. And he's like, man, this team, yeah, they're not. They could miss the playoffs. Yeah, it could. But you don't. That's why you just keep playing one at a time. And now, what a difference 24 hours makes. Now the Browns are 7-3. A lot of people had the Ravens being 7-3 instead of 6-4. But look at the Ravens, how their season is in a balance right now. The Ravens play on Thursday night. If they lose against the Steelers, they're 6-5. Now they're struggling to make the playoffs. You know, the Browns are 7-3. They win Sunday. And who do they play Sunday? The 1-9 Jacksonville Jaguars. They should be 8-3 after Sunday. That you'll hear that. That's a trap. It's a trap game. It's a trap game. We'll be talking about it all week. It is a trap game. Yeah, this is the NFL. This is a college football. Any given Sunday. So if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, stay focused because you'll watch the film of the Jaguars and the Steelers. And the Steelers won, but it was not easy. They pulled away toward the end. Cleveland, it's not going to be easy going down to Jacksonville. Duval County. That's going to be a game. If you're just going in there thinking it's going to just be a pushover and you come back here 7-4, you're not going to be happy. Stay in the moment. Remember, I always talk about the 4-game increments. You know, the first 4 games of the season, the next 4 games, then you're at the halfway point. Now we're in that third phase of the 4 games. And where do the Browns in that third phase? They're 2-0. They are 2-0 in the third phase. If they go 4-0, they're going to be in a great position in that last quarter of the last 4 games of the season. That's when you start to jockey and totally for your playoff position. Are we going to be a 2nd seed or a 3rd seed or wherever the seeding is? You just want to make sure you're in that conversation. Right now, the Browns are in a great position. I just knocked my own headphones out. 7-3 at this point of the season. If we'd have had this conversation in August, everybody would have taken, I'll take 7-3 after 10 games. But don't be satisfied. I repeat, do not be satisfied, Cleveland Browns fans. Take care of business Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you'll be in a great, great, great position. When was the last time the Browns in the playoffs, Justin? Do you remember that? Was it the 2000s? It was the 1990s. I know they've been there. Since Bill Belichick, 1994. When was the last time the Cleveland Browns been in the playoffs? 2002. 2002, 18 years. Whew. Okay, Cleveland. Well, no, that's where you ought to be praying for your Thanksgiving present. I would be thankful. Your turkey tastes a lot better when you win the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And it tastes even better when you eat Thanksgiving leftovers on Sunday night after another win. Well, Cleveland, you're in a great position, but don't get content. Stay focused, one game at a time. And in the third phase of the 4-game season, go 3-0. Go 3-0, and you'll be in a good position. Cincinnati Bengals. Well, you played the Washington football team. I'm gonna start calling them the Washington Red Tails. That's my vote for what their name change will be whenever they get around to changing it. So in the meantime, they're the Washington Red Tails until proven otherwise. Cincinnati, you played them. You went to 2-6-1. Washington is now 3-7. They won the game. Bengals lose 20-9, and where the biggest loss is not on the scoreboard for the Cincinnati Bengals. The biggest loss and the biggest news of yesterday, probably injury related, was Joe Burrow. When somebody posted it, his name is Burrow, not Burrows. Leave the S off his name. So Joe Burrow, yeah, you had a very fine rookie campaign. We'll get the total news today on your MRI results come out on the injury to your knee. It was so bad they didn't want to show it anymore, but I have a DVR at home, and I rewound the tape like 3 times, and I'm like, 3's enough. I don't want to see it no more. And I just hope it's not as bad that the injury looks, I hope his injury is not as bad as it seemed to be at first look on the television feed, so hopefully you get good news today. I mean, the best news you can get that you'll be back for the first game of the season next year. That'll be the best news. And the worst news is you'll be back whenever you get back. If it takes you more than a year, whatever. He is the face and the future of the Cincinnati Bengals. But Cincinnati, I was, reading thing. Now it's time to tank it. Well, it seems like you've been tanking all year. Play hard. Don't play for the first pick of the draft. Who is the first pick of the draft? Who knows? I don't know at this point. All I do know is about the Bengals have 6 games left. Play your hearts out for all 6 games. And then you'll handle the results at that time. Prior to Burrow's getting hurt, wasn't a whole lot going on. I probably saw T. Higgins play. He played like a rookie yesterday. He had a couple of drops. He had 10 passes come to him, and he brought 3 of them back home. A.J. Green had 4 catches on 9 targets for 41 yards. Tyler Boyd, who has been the most consistent being a receiver all season long, who's moving into that number 1. He is the number 1 receiver for the Bengals as far as I'm concerned right now. He had 9 catches for 85 yards on 11 targets. Defensively wise, I thought the Bengals defense played good overall up until the point where, Burrow's out of the game and they just can't, it just got worn down. And they didn't get enough turnovers, but teams lose, not individuals. Teams lose. But I will say this. We're at the point of the season where it is time to seriously, and I do mean seriously, consider who's the next coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Not if, who will be. Zach Taylor, he must go. This is a results business. It's not about if I like you or if I don't like you. It's not about a personality and, drinking buddies and all that stuff. That's not what this league is about. This league is not for everybody. It's a hardcore league. That's why they say the NFL stands for what? Not for long. You enjoy it while you're in it. And this is, I'm going to sound like the Godfather. This is a business that we chose. You are hired to be fired. Very few people get to go out on their own terms. Okay, I just want to, retire. I'm done. Okay, that happens. But how many coaches get that opportunity to coach until you don't want to coach anymore? I used to think, when I was younger, I grew up with fantasies in my mind. That's how it was supposed to be for really good coaches. When you don't want to coach anymore, you just get to walk away. Because I saw some of that happen. Chuck Noll for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was like, wow, he's been there a long time and he left on his own. And then the fantasy was over when I saw Tom Landry get fired. I'm like, he's the Dallas Cowboys, he's been there from day one. How do you fire Tom Landry? Well, he does. It happened. I'm like, man, this is a cold business. We all knew it was time for Tom Landry to go, but whenever Tom is going to, go, he's going to go. He's going to go up to the front office or go tell them some of the meetings, okay, I'm done. That just doesn't happen anymore. And they fired him. So, that being said, Zach Taylor, you have to go. I mean, Steve Wilkes is the coach of Arizona Cardinals in 2018. Rookie head football coach. He goes 3-13 with a bad football team he inherited, a rookie quarterback, and they go 3-13 and they fire him. How do you do that? What was the expectation level? Whereas Cincinnati, the following year, last year, 2019, Cincinnati Bengals bring in a new quarterback, a new head coach. He wins how many games? They go 1-15, if I'm not correct. They go 1-15. This year, the Bengals are 2-6-1, so he's won 3 games, tied 1, and lost all others. Lost all others. That's 21 losses in 2 years and counting. We got if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan and a season ticket holder, it's time to go in a different direction. You got a young quarterback who's the face of your franchise. You got to protect him more ways than one. Not just physically, yes, we know the offensive line got to get better, but the offensive line was not the reason why he got injured. That injury could happen to any player at any time. Those things happen. So you just have to, that's just some of the things that happen that goes on. That being said, it's time for Zach Taylor to go. Right now, I saw a coach on the sidelines in Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy. We ought to think about that. Ex-Cincinnati Bengal, bring him home. Zach must go. Bring him home. Guys, have a great, great, great Thanksgiving. Really wish you would be a safe Thanksgiving, a Zoom Thanksgiving, a smaller Thanksgiving, and love one another. Do some random acts of kindness. Black Lives Matter. It's not a slogan. It's a movement. Take care of your fellow man. Let's end systematic racism, and let's take care of each other. Have a great Thanksgiving and a great rest of the week. See you next time, and see you at Lee's in Springfield next Monday.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Roosters would like to thank all of our loyal guests and all the loyal Buckeye fans for your support this year. Because of you, we've been able to stay open and keep our award-winning team employed. Our team members go above and beyond and are dedicated to providing you and your family the safest dining experience possible, while still providing a fun, casual atmosphere to relax, laugh, and enjoy our award-winning food. Roosters, the official